The role of the deck unit is to rewind the rope inside the buoys as they are retrieved. Its speed and ease of use eliminate wasted time and extra operations. This leads to fast, safe, and efficient fishing. The deck unit also includes the components needed to link the buoys to the control system, as well as the acoustic system for communicating with the submerged buoys. First, let's look at the various components of the deck unit. You'll be able to refer to this part of the video when communicating with our team. This will ensure common language. The control panel, the rope guide proximity sensor, the rope guide screw, the rope guide, the rope guide pulleys, the upper and lower rope guide rods, the tensioner, the rope overload safety sensor, the rear and front rollers, the tensioner door, the clamping module, the clamping module handle, the buoy clamping sensor, the main motor, the coupling, the deck unit frame, legs, and plates. Let's look at each of the components of your deck unit and how they work. The control panel enables operation of the unit for rewinding the rope inside the buoy. The on-off button turns the unit on and off. The start button starts rewinding. The stop button stops rewinding if necessary. The speed wheel adjusts the rewind speed. Turn it to the right to accelerate the speed or to the left to decelerate. The positioning knob, known as the positioning jogger, moves the rope guide from left to right by turning the knob the desired direction. The E-stop button enables the deck unit to be stopped in an emergency. To rewind the buoy, if you have not already done so, turn the deck unit on by turning the on-off knob on the control panel. On startup, the deck unit will go through its initialization phase, which is indicated by the red and yellow lights being on. During this phase, the rope guide moves to the 0 position, which is located at the left end of the rope guide screw. The deck unit also checks its different sensors during this period. Please wait until this stage is complete before proceeding with any manipulations. Note that it is not necessary to turn the deck unit off between buoys. If necessary, the E-stop button can be used at any time to shut down the deck unit and its mechanisms. Place your buoy on the deck unit, making sure that the coupling is on the main motor side and that the transducer is pointing towards you. At all times, please make sure your buoy and rope are free of any residue. If the part of the rope that is still wound into the buoy has partially unwound and become slack, please continue to unwind the rope until it is tightly wound inside of the buoy. Slide the buoy towards the coupling and make sure that the female coupling on the buoy fits into the male coupling of the deck unit. Take the handle of the clamping module and turn it so that it is horizontal and pointing to the right. Then, push the clamping module towards the deck unit to lock the buoy in place. Once the clamping module is securely locked, the green light comes on to indicate that you are ready to perform rewinding operations. Using the positioning knob, move the rope guide to the left or to the right to align it with the position of the rope. To do this, turn the positioning knob towards the desired direction of movement of the rope guide. Note that if the rope has completely unwound before this manipulation, you must first align the rope guide at the left end of the buoy. If the rope has partially unwound, align the rope guide with the tightly wound rope in the spool. Then, thread the rope through the rope guide, passing it over the top pulley of the rope guide and under the bottom pulley. Beware of loose clothing getting caught in the deck unit components during this operation. Next, insert the rope into the tensioner, passing it first to the outside of the first roller, then between the two rollers, and finally through the center of the guide rods. Be careful not to put your hands near the tensioner when the machine is in use. Note that for your own safety, as soon as the tension in your rope becomes too high, or something moves the tensioner's central roller too far, the deck unit will stop. The same mechanism engages when there is no more rope to rewind, which will automatically stop the deck unit from rewinding. Before starting the rewinding process, select the direction the rope guide will take by positioning the knob to the left or to the right, depending on the desired direction. The direction is defined by the logical direction the rope must take to continue the winding already present on the buoy. The light under the L for left or the R for right indicates the direction the rope guide will begin moving. Confirm or adjust the rewind speed with the speed wheel. If it is at the 0 position, rewinding will not start. Although the maximum speed available is 10, it is advised to start rewinding at a speed lower than 5. During rewinding, it is always possible to adjust the speed from the minimum of 0 to the maximum of 10. Here are a few safety precautions to observe during deck unit operation. Avoid gripping or jamming the rope when rewinding. Take particular care not to entangle your feet in the rope when rewinding. Always keep the rope free of knots. If at any time the tension in the rope exceeds about 45 pounds, the system will automatically stop for safety reasons. If this happens, check and correct the problem, and then press start to resume. When rewinding, stand to the left of the machine to avoid being hit by splashes. Once the rope has been rewound, press the stop button to stop the rewinding process. Once rewinding is complete, disengage the clamping module by pulling it towards you. Remove the rope from the tensioner and from the rope guide. Then remove the buoy from the deck unit by sliding it to the right to disengage the coupling. Remove the buoy from the deck unit, and you can repeat the different steps to rewind a new buoy. Here is a visual summary of how to rewind your Devocean buoy using the deck unit. The first time you use the Devocean buoy, you'll need to set the rope size using the control panel. The buoy can accommodate 3 different types of rope: 3/8 inch, ½ inch, and 5/8 inch. To select the correct rope size, you must first ensure that you are in manual mode. Manual mode is the default mode when the deck unit has just been activated with the on button, or when it is not in action. A single yellow light or a combination of yellow and green lights will indicate that your deck unit is in the manual mode. Follow these steps to select the correct rope size. First, hold down the stop button for a minimum of 5 seconds. This will cause all 3 lights on the control panel to flash rapidly. To change the desired format, turn the positioning knob to the left or the right until the correct combination of lights is lit according to the rope size you wish. By default, the red, yellow, and green lights are on simultaneously. This indicates a configuration for a 5/8 inch rope. Red and yellow lights on simultaneously indicate a configuration for a ½ inch rope. The red light alone indicates a 3/8 inch rope configuration. Make your choice and then press the start button to confirm the change. During configuration, you can also press the stop button to cancel the change. The lights then remain on for a few seconds to indicate what rope size you have selected. The deck unit remains configured to the last size selected, whether it is powered off or not. This operation should only be repeated if you wish to use a different rope size on your Devocean buoys.